I sat on my couch, staring at my phone screen, the unread messages from Daniel still glaring at me. A gentle knock at the door interrupted my thoughts. "Come in," I called out, already knowing exactly who it was. Sophie stepped inside, her warm smile filling the room with comfort. "Hey, how are you holding up?" she asked, plopping down beside me. I sighed, setting my phone aside. "Trying to survive. Some moments are okay, others feel like I can't breathe." Sophie placed a reassuring hand on mine. "Breakups are hard, but you're stronger than you think. You don't have to go through this alone." I offered a weak smile. "I know. I feel lost. Like I don't know who I am without him." Sophie frowned. "You were Emma long before Daniel, and you'll be Emma long after him. And honestly, you deserve someone who treats you better." I chuckled softly. "You always know what to say." Sophie smirked. "It's my best friend's superpower." Over the following weeks, Sophie stayed close, helping me rebuild my confidence. We spent nights watching movies, cooking together, and going on spontaneous road trips. I felt lighter with Sophie around, like I was rediscovering myself. One evening, after an impromptu picnic at the park, I turned to Sophie. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Sophie brushed a strand of hair behind her ear. "That's what friends are for." I hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath. I think I feel something more than friendship for you. And I don't know what to do with that." Sophie looked at me with gentle eyes, a small smile playing on her lips. "You don't have to do anything right now. Just know that whatever you feel, it's okay. And I'm here." As the days passed, I allowed myself to sit with my feelings, letting them unfold naturally. Sophie and I continued spending time together, and every little interaction felt warmer, more significant. One rainy afternoon, we stayed in, baking cookies and reminiscing about childhood memories. As the scent of vanilla and chocolate filled the kitchen, I found myself laughing more freely than I had in months. "Remember that summer we got lost trying to find that hiking trail?" Sophie teased, nudging me playfully. I grinned. How could I forget? We ended up in some random farmer's backyard, and he thought we were trying to steal his chickens. We both burst into laughter, and for the first time in a long while, I felt genuinely happy. Later that night, as we sat on the couch wrapped in warm blankets, I turned to Sophie once more. "Do you think things happen for a reason?" She tilted her head, considering my words. "Maybe. Or maybe we just find meaning in what happens. Either way, I think we end up exactly where we're meant to be." And as I looked into her warm, reassuring eyes, I realized she was right. Maybe healing wasn't about moving on quickly, but about allowing myself to embrace the love that had always been there, waiting for me to see it. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was exactly where I was meant to be. Weeks passed, and my connection with Sophie only deepened. We started sharing more, our dreams, our fears, our late-night thoughts that felt too big for the world. The lines between friendship and something more blurred, but neither of us seemed in a hurry to define them. One evening, Sophie suggested we take a weekend trip to the lake house her family owned. "A change of scenery might be good for you," she said with a wink. The drive was filled with music and laughter. The trees blurred into a sea of green as we sped down the open road, windows down, the fresh air filling my lungs. When we arrived, the lake stretched endlessly before us, reflecting the hues of the setting sun. Sophie led me inside, and we spent the evening making dinner together, playfully stealing ingredients from each other's cutting boards. As we sat on the dock later that night, dipping our feet in the cool water, I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in months. "This place is magical," I whispered. Sophie nodded. "It is. It's always been my escape. I wanted to share it with you." I turned to her, the moonlight illuminating her face. "Sophie, do you ever wonder what it would be like if we were more than friends?" She met my gaze, her expression unreadable for a moment before softening. "I do. But I didn't want to pressure you. I wanted you to find that answer for yourself." I exhaled, letting her words settle over me. "I think I have." Sophie smiled, reaching for my hand. "Then let's see where this takes us." And as we sat there, fingers entwined, I realized that sometimes, love doesn't come in the form you expect, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. The next morning, I woke up to the gentle sound of birds chirping outside the cabin. The golden light of the sun streamed through the window, casting a warm glow on Sophie, who was still peacefully asleep beside me. I watched her for a moment, taking in the serene expression on her face. It was strange how natural it felt, how right. By the time she stirred awake, I had already made coffee. "Morning, sleepyhead," I teased as she stretched. She grinned. "You made coffee. You really are spoiling me." We spent the day exploring the nearby hiking trails, laughing as we got lost yet again. This time, though, there was no panic, just easy conversation and stolen glances. As we sat on a moss-covered rock overlooking the lake, Sophie reached for my hand once more. "Emma, I know this is all new to you. I don't want to rush anything. But I just need you to know that whatever happens, you'll always have me." I squeezed her hand. "I don't know where this is going either. But I know that with you, I feel safe. And that's enough for now." We stayed like that for a while, the wind rustling through the trees, the scent of pine filling the air. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't afraid of the unknown. Because no matter what happened next, I wasn't facing it alone.